We're going to talk about small businesses and the challenges they are facing in the US, a critical component of our economy. Small businesses, which account for nearly half of all US private sector jobs, have definitely paid a pretty heavy toll during this pandemic.
Banks and the government and the Fed have been very much aware of the need of the SMEs to get help during this pandemic. And I think the way the Treasury, the Fed, and the banks have coordinated the help to these companies has been really remarkable. I would say, comparing with other parts of the world that I'm familiar with, probably the example of the US has been the best. BBVA, which has historically, we had a balance sheet of approximately $3 billion in SMEs. In just a few weeks in which the Paycheck Protection Program worked and was in place, we managed to lend $3.3 billion to 22,000 companies, and more importantly, to 3,200 of them that had never worked with us, and they came with us. Well, again, to put it in perspective, the size of this, of the relevance of this program, BBVA alone has calculated that we've saved 360,000 jobs thanks to the 3.3 billion that we put in the hands of the SMEs. So the relevance of this program, the coordination that the Federal Reserve, the Treasury Department with the taxpayers' money, and the banks have put in place, I think it's been remarkable, an example worldwide. And I want to highlight the relevance of international banks in this endeavor.
E-commerce traffic right now is up greater than 70% year on year. We're actually doing volumes today that we had forecasted in 2022. And it's all in this realm of small to medium sized companies that are exporting right out of their homes, right out of their kitchen tables, right out of their garages. And we're glad that we're able to support them by bringing the world to them through DHL.
We worked with our small businesses and with our industry association to help advocate for that program, for the PPP program. We're working today to help advocate for its expansion because it's been so effective.
So there are three key policies that government can help with. First is the expansion and facilitation of the PPP loans, which have been very successful. And I think there's bipartisan support out there for substantial expansion and continuation, including for existing and previous borrowers. The second one is the employee retention tax credit, expanding that and giving it another span for really to drive businesses to employ, to retain, and so we can go from unemployment to employment as the economy recovers. And the third one, which I think is fundamental and really just targeted to the coronavirus pandemic, is liability protection. So many businesses like ours, like Mike and Javier's, so many businesses and small industries out there are investing in PPE, are changing how they're doing, how they're living, how they're working, wearing masks, putting up plexiglass, keeping distances, following the CDC guidelines. And if they're doing that, there should be a safe harbor. There should be some liability protection from the risks should anything potentially happen.
What would I say to policymakers? I would say that they must understand how critical trade facilitation and the free flow of data, goods, finance, and even people are for our nation's ability to open markets for SMEs.
And we're also very active in the Paycheck Protection Program. So I think IIB members issued about 175,000 loans, 24.7 billion total, and that supported 2.4 million American small business jobs.
In the small business community, another group of heroes are these bankers who moved heaven and earth to get loans to small businesses under this brand new SBA program.
Small businesses who really operate on a very thin margin day to day, year to year anyways, are having a real hard time trying to figure out how are we going to reopen? What's business going to look like? Are we going to be like before? Are we going to be smaller? What's demand going to be like? About half of all small business owners realize that they're probably going to have to access some additional financial assistance in the next 12 months to make it.
You know, Brad and Tom have both highlighted how small businesses are really the engines to drive job creation. but also, minority and women-owned businesses are such a big percentage of small business. And at a time where we're really, as a country, focused on financial inclusion, small business support is especially important.
An entire community of small business benefits from Toyota's presence in Kentucky. And you can basically magnify this in every type of community where there is foreign direct investment that's made in a larger business that actually has a positive economic ripple effect for all the small businesses in the area.